Welcome to Section 4, Quality Control and Internal Audits, the art and science of objective evaluations and constructive criticism. I am your instructor, Michelle Carmichael. Please download the PDF to follow along with this instructional video. Welcome to the art and science of objective evaluations and constructive criticism, where our emotional drivers of our legacy, grit, and determination is the driving force for our quality standards. Our heart and soul pours out into our products, offering our consumers a chance to experience the fruits of our hard work. This is how we build our loyal communities. But our quality is more than what our products look like, taste like, and feel like. Quality is our ethical standards of our products and our operating platform, our integrity of our practices, and in our choices of our ingredients, materials, and supplies. Quality is one of the top priorities as a home artisan and crafter. It is a way of life. Now, we as home artisan and crafters wear many hats, and performing quality control and internal audits on ourselves requires us to be able to take a step back and look at our work objectively without any bias. This can be difficult and requires technique and skill to self-evaluate. Now, in Section 4, you will learn how to perform a quality control and internal audits on your products and your operating platform. Now, this is vitally important for GMP's requirements to state that you have upheld your responsibility and accountability toward quality control and internal auditing. Now, if you're not comfortable performing a quality control evaluation or an internal audit on yourself, then look to hire someone qualified in the field. And you could also ask a friend who you know that's not afraid to tell you like it is. Now, the art of constructive criticism is healthy for you, and it provides you with insight towards developing your quality standards. The science behind objective evaluations will allow you to grow as an artisan, and it provides you insight towards operating at your standard quality procedures. Now, in Section 4, you will learn how to detach objectively and look at your products and your operating platform from the lens of a consumer, not the maker. You will also look at your operating platform and your products from the lens of an auditor and an inspector, not the maker. Now, understanding the mechanics of detachment allows you, as a product developer, to implement quality control and internal audit behavior into your protocol. This is a vital component of understanding the mechanics and behaviors of how GMP conducts its quality guidelines and auditing protocol for your GMP binder. This proves that you employ quality from the start, not just during your processes or where you procure your ingredients from, but in your foundational design thinking. Now, the learning outcomes for Section 4 are: 1. Understand why it's important to perform quality control on your products and your operating platform. 2. The importance of scheduling an internal audit on your products and your operating platform. 3. What constructive criticism will teach us about ourselves and GMP. And 4. How cognitive biases influence our decision making when self-evaluating our performances. Now, the core concepts of Section 4 are: constructive criticism will encourage objective design thinking, and cognitive bias will prepare us for self-evaluating our performances. And the art and science of giving and receiving feedback, plus objectively evaluating our products and our operating platform, will provide knowledge and skills in critical decision making for quality control and internal auditing to meet the GMP criteria. Now, you should employ quality from the start, not just at the end of your process. This means that your decision making must uphold your ethical responsibility, from your integrity of your products, who your vendors are, how you are storing your materials and ingredients, and most importantly, how you make your products. Now, I cannot stress this enough. You are making products in your home. So you should have strict protocols and procedures in place for your operating platform. And this means no pets in the home, no cooking or cleaning while making your products, no fun time and family running around, etc. Now, these strict protocols are put in place by GMP, and you must uphold them. Now, think of the ramifications you could face if someone did file a complaint. What if a pet hair is caught in your product? What if there are traces of bacteria or unknown substances in your products that cause an allergic reaction? Now, quality control is more than just examining your products. It becomes a way of life for an artisan and crafter operating out of their home. Now, performing an internal audit is paramount for home artisans to document and record. Now, learning how to do this is fundamental for GMP guidelines. An internal audit should be scheduled several times a year and includes auditing your entire system, your operating platform, and your products. Now, internal audits are important. It provides you clarity as the manufacturer as far as your operating platform's performance. So think of your internal audit as a performance evaluation. This is where the art and science of objective evaluating and constructive criticism will come into play. You need to turn off your emotions and think mechanically and objectively. This is also where you will see where your performance is lacking, what you need improvement on, and what your strengths are and what you excel at. But for GMP, an internal audit proves that you are operating by their guidelines. For a GMP inspection, they will ask for your quality control and auditing sheets, so it's best to devise one and follow your guidelines. Now remember, your audit hat is on. You need to be able to see your flaws, notice the tiniest of details, and not be afraid to redo any of your product processes. Look at your products as if you were seeing them for the first time as the consumer, as not the maker. You need to be judgmental to yourself and to your platform. Now, our design thinking allows us to step outside of the box of self and consider our audience. Here is where the art and science of objective evaluations and constructive criticism go into motion. This will invigorate your design thinking and allow for improvement in areas that you might not have seen as the maker. Now, I've created an example of a quality control sheet for you to get some ideas on how you would format your sheet. Now, you will notice it is not as long as your SOP or your spec sheet, but it is paramount that you include the proper headings. I do suggest that you research which headings your operating platform requires, though most are pretty generalized. So first, look at your showcase product and evaluate it with your quality control hat on. Your first heading here will be test methods. This is where you will describe your testing methods of your quality control. So in detail, describe your performance of your testing and your reasoning. List any testing materials that you use. Testing should be performed during the phases of your prepping, production, packaging, and cleanup. Now, this section is formatted methodically and should be labeled for its reference documentation. The next heading is your results. What is the decision of your quality of your product? Does it meet your expectations? Here is where you take a step back and you look at the whole picture. Format your results in sections. You'll be quick to notice any patterns, and these subtle changes can drastically affect your final product. Now, subheading 1 is your ingredient quality. Now, describe your organoleptic properties of your ingredients in your product. Is it what you imagined? Is there something that's off-putting to you? Now, subheading 2 is your batch math. Did your product amount equal the number of units of your recipe? Did it come out the way you calculated it? Do you have leftovers? Are your leftovers now your samples and retained samples? Make sure you document this. Now, subheading 3 is your packaging quality. Here you will describe the quality of the look of your final product. Are any of the unit labels smudged? Is there separation after settling? Does it look sloppy? How does your packaging really look? Is there anything missing on your labels? Are your descriptions of your product clear and understandable? And does it represent you? Now, the next heading is when specifications are not met. Here is where you document and record where you think your process went sideways. Notice change in suppliers or alterations of ingredient variations, of equipment or of tools used, time markers and phases. There are many components in your process. Locating the logistics will assist you in which direction you will need to take. Now the next heading is your change control. Document your new direction and recreate a new version of your recipe. But make sure you record this in your SOP and then verify it in your spec sheets as part of this process. If there were changes by your supplier that you overlooked, this could be the reason your product's outcomes were skewed. Remember, your specifications must be met before you proceed. Now, the last heading is your internal audit. Now, you are setting your quality control standards, reflecting your integrity and ethics. So, schedule your audits several times a year. Create a table for your records. Note, if you are discontinuing a recipe, you must record the date in your GMP binder. For new versions, you must assign a new product number with the name and then go through the entire process again and see what happens. And everything must be documented precisely. Now you will create a storage tab in your GMP binder, and that will house your sample log and your retained sample logs of your products. So create a sample log section and label and clearly format your samples by its batch numbers for your records. It's also wise to include a sample log as part of your SOP to document where your recipe leftovers are going. You can also add a section in your sample log for customer surveys and feedback. This will help you understand your product from a consumer's point of view. Now, your retained sample log will help keep track of your retained samples to determine your product's shelf life. Now, this should be kept in its final packaging for at least a year after determine your expiration date. So document and fully record your packaged products, its number of units, the batch numbers, and the date. Choose a location for shelf life and storage. And retained samples are not for sale. All right, let's shift gears and look at the GMP aspects of a quality finished product and your ethical auditing. Now, when designing your quality control sheets, be objective and uphold your integrity. Your finished product in its final packaging should be a customer experience. Now, consider how you design the unpackaging experience for your consumers is part of your product's process. Objectively, take a step back and look at your final product sitting on display and on the shelf amongst its competitors. How does it really look? Does it stand out? An insightful protocol to develop is devising a scorecard and set goals for your improvement. What GMP guidelines are missing? Plan for changes and modifications. Record all of your progress. Your records must be kept current and up to date in your GMP binder to showcase your work in progress. Now, in the external resources I provided, explore the constructive behavioral changes that will take place when you're wearing your quality control and audit hat. You are learning how to think and perform objectively without any bias. It is your responsibility as a home artisan and crafter to uphold your accountability of your ethical standards, your integrity, and your critical decision making, even at the very last minute when you're facing a deadline and you have to admit that the quality of your products are just not met. Now remember, you set the standards for your products and for your operating platform. Your GMP binder should clearly reflect the standards that you are implementing for your operating platform and your name. Now I've created a process map for you to use in Section 4 to help you in the developmental process of creating your quality control and internal audit tabs for your GMP binder. Now you will use your showcase product as a working example to kickstart your critical thinking. First, you will examine. So look at your showcase product as if you were seeing it for the first time. Look at the labels, read the ingredients. Look at the entire picture. Now look at your SOP and your accounting. Is all of your documentation complete? How are those processes going? Now examine objectively the visual components of your product. Take notes of what is missing. The next step is to outline. You will generate an outline of your quality control parameters. Start at the beginning of your outline of your quality control order of operations. So now the third phase is your process is to ideate. Now you can draft your quality control and audit sheets and fill in the blanks. Keep adding to the sections that need development. The next phase is to audit. Take your showcase product and perform a GMP QC and audit. So look at your feedback with an open mind and your improvement. What did you learn from this process? Now, the final phase is your approval, and you will reflect on the process of performing a QC and internal audit, and then use your notes to see where your missing GMP components are. Then finalize the organization of your QC and audit tabs in your GMP binder. And then repeat this process for every product that you make. And now you have completed Section 4 of our course. Remember, you are the key to GMP process. Use your directional knowledge from this course to grow as a home artisan and crafter. Define your platform and represent your integrity. Now please complete the Q&A at the end of this section using the PDF as notes. And please reach out to me if you have any questions. This presentation was created in Canva. All of the content and material and process map was created and spoken and narrated by me, Michelle Carmichael. Thank you so much.